Villager was the target of a child porn after a recent move from Wisconsin. More apartments coming to Spanish Springs in the Rihanna building. Detectives are seeking a suspect in automobile thefts in the Villages. A Villages entertainment staffer arrested on battery charges. A Villager son was released on bond nearly a year after his nude girlfriend's body was found. A newbie to the Villages from Massachusetts was arrested for the third time. Villager son with criminal history was arrested in thefts at Lady Lake Crossing. How many holes in ones of golf do we get this week? Letters to the editor, this and more. Coming up. Thanks, everybody, for joining us this week on the Villages News Updated. I believe this might be the lead story for this week. The La Rihanna building at Spanish Springs Town Square is being retrofitted to house 39 new loft-style apartments. The interior of the three-story building has been gutted to make way for the new apartments. Plans for the major remodeling of Rihanna building, long considered the crown jewel of the Village's original town square, also include space for a ground floor restaurant previously home to Gators Dockside, which closed in 2024. After more than a decade in operation, another large section of the building in the back is being reserved for yet an undisclosed purpose. Apartment dwellers will have the use of a resort-style pool, and some apartments will have balconies overlooking the town square. There will also be covered golf cart parking available for those living in the new apartments. The lofts at Van Patten House, former home of Katie Bell's, everybody is still pissed off about that, marked the introduction of apartments at Spanish Springs Town Square. And it's going to happen at every town square before it's over with. In 2020, the announcement of apartments at the square ignited a rebellion amongst residents, who nearly convinced the Lady Lake commissioners to block the plan. However, legal threats from the Villages forced Lady Lake officials to back down. The lofts at Van Patten House opened in 2024. A 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom loft at Van Patten House starts at $3,300 per month. Renters pay an extra $200 monthly amenity fee. They also pay extra for utilities, cable, and trash pickup. Apartments will soon surround Spanish Springs Town Square, as they also are coming to the P.B. Smith and Citrus Exchange buildings, former home of the Village's Daily Sun. The newspaper offices have been moved to Lake Sumter Landing above Starbucks. You know, I'm just going to give my little commentary here about these apartments down in the square. It's all a money grab. The fourth generation here doesn't care about this being a retirement community, which I've always said for a long time now. It's really not a retirement community anymore. It's just a large town of 160-some thousand people, give or take, around that area, and it's mostly elderly people. Other than that, that's all you have here. Apartments is going to run this. Not just the Villages apartments that are building, but it's everybody around the Villages with these massive apartment communities. It's going to run it. A staffer with the Villages Entertainment Department has been arrested on battery charges. Brian Joseph Mullaney, 43, of Ocala, was arrested Thursday night and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. Bond has been set at $2,000. The arrest report has not been released, but it was a Wildwood Police Department arrest. Mullaney has played a key role at high-profile events in the Villages over the past few years, notably the Christmas tree lighting events. Prior to joining the Villages Entertainment Department, Mullaney worked for the Special Events Department in the city of Inverness. Brian Joseph Mullaney, 43, of Ocala, is facing 2 counts of battery following his arrest at Thursday's Halloween event at a town square. Mullaney, who stands 6 feet 1 inches tall and weighs 250 pounds, was wearing a white and black clown costume and working as a scare actor in a haunted house at about 7 p.m. that night, according to the arrest report from the Wildwood Police Department. A little girl who had been in the haunted house told police that she had been shoved by Mullaney, who has been working at the haunted house for the Villages Entertainment for 4 years. The girl told police that Mullaney, who was wearing a clown mask, began to follow her and then pushed me as hard as he can. The child who was in the haunted house with her sisters said that Mullaney's shove caused a domino effect, with another child being pushed into the wall. That child landed on her right knee, for which she had had 2 previous surgeries. She was evaluated by medical personnel at the scene and transported to the UF Health emergency room at Brownwood for further evaluation. The little girl who had been shoved had a red and round imprinted mark along with scratches on her lower back. Her mother completed a form indicating she wants to see Melanie prosecuted. He denied the accusations. I follow the kids, but I do not touch them. I just stomp at them or blow the horn and scare the kids, never chasing them down, Melanie told police. He described his assignment at the haunted house as scaring people. Melanie has played a key role at the high-profile events in the villages over the past few years, notably the Christmas tree lighting events. Prior to joining the village's entertainment department, Melanie worked at special events department at the city of Inverness. A woman from Massachusetts who had moved to the villages in 2024 has been jailed for the third time this year. Amy Lynn Griffing, 67, of the village of Alhambra, was arrested Monday night on a warrant charging her with violating her probation. She is being held this week without bond at the Sumter County Detention Centers. I recognize the face. I can remember one story. She got caught with her pants down taking a leak at Lake Sumter Landing. Griffin was arrested October 14th after allegedly trying to shoplift $65.73 in items from Walmart at Buffalo Ridge Plaza in the villages. She was released the following day after paying a $500 bond. However, an arrest from earlier this year caught up with her and she landed back behind bars. Griffin was placed on probation earlier this year when she was caught with her shorts pulled down and urinating at Lake Sumter Landing. Griffin had her jean shorts pulled down around her thighs, urinating on the ground in a parking lot of the former Winn-Dixie grocery store. She was found to be intoxicated with open liquor in her vehicles. She was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence, lost her driver's license for 6 months, was placed on probation for 1 year, and was ordered to perform 80 hours of community service. She purchased her home in the villages in 2024, and the avid motorcyclist announced her arrival in the villages via social media post. You know, that's the one thing. I know I'm getting off this subject to this lady here. After a while, when they get arrested, I don't know about you guys, I guess you get tired of hearing it. Just put her in jail for 6 months and let her figure out that this stuff's got to stop. But they won't do that. But Sue and I had our motorcycles and our motorcycle friends, a little motorcycle club we started at work. We rode all over the United States. We just enjoyed it. We enjoyed the hell out of it. I didn't bring it down here because I just felt like that I was riding on the edge down here. I don't trust these people, the way they drive. No, I just don't. The other thing was Corvettes. I had two, got rid of both of them. I wish I'd have kept one of them. I don't know which one, but I wish I'd have kept one of them because I found out after I moved here the largest Corvette club in the United States is right here. So I could have used that, but I don't have it, and no, I don't have plans on buying another one. A villager became the target of a child pornography investigation soon after he and his wife moved from Wisconsin to Florida's friendliest hometown. Patrick Krepline, 61, continued to be held at the Lake County Jail this week following his arrest this past week by Fruitland Park Police Department on 17 counts of possession of child pornography and 17 counts of transmission of pornography by electronic device. Krepline and his wife purchased a home in October 2024 at 3314 Veltri Way in the village of Pine Hills. A tip was received May 28 by the Central Florida Internet Crime Against Children Task Force regarding possible illicit activity. Initially, the information was being investigated by the Sumter County Sheriff's Office, but it was soon determined that the activity was connected to Krepline's home, which is located in the Fruitland Park section of the villages in Lake County. If you guys seen that video where I did a ride along with the Fruitland Park Police Department, we went right through part of the villages, which is in Fruitland Park's authority. Investigators found that Krepline still was a Wisconsin driver's license and still owns a home in Brillion, Wisconsin. Contact was made with the Calumet County Sheriff's Office in Wisconsin, and a detective with that office found Krepline's phone number from a 2023 incident report. The number led to a search warrant for Krepline's Media Lab/Kick message account. Krepline's account had 17 videos focusing on young girls engaging in sexual activity. There were also 3 photographs of Krepline's face, 4 photos of his penis, and 1 with a piece of paper that said, "For Sarah Smiles, for 2225. Messages sent by Krepline also included one that said 60M The Villages, which meant he was a 60-year-old male in the Villages. In other messages dated May 13, he asked, "Do you have any really young?" ? Crippline is set for felony arraignment on November 10 in Lake County Court. You know, I am so sick of these child pornographers moving into the Villages. You tell me. Well, you guys remember this story. This is a drug-addicted son living with his mother, and he brought a girlfriend to mom's house to stay with him. She ended up dying of a drug overdose in the house, and he'd done some weird stuff. I don't understand none of it. But anyway, you might recognize the picture because you've seen it before. The villager's son walked out of jail on Thursday afternoon, nearly 1 year after his nude girlfriend was found dead at his mother's home in the village of Charlotte. Brian William Decott, 47, was released on a $100,000 bond following a hearing earlier in the day in Sumter County Court. He is facing a charge of death caused by the unlawful distribution of cocaine. $100,000 bond. I wonder who put that up. Decott has been charged in connection with the death of a 50-year-old Tracy Jean Miller, who was found deceased and lying nude on Halloween 2024 at the home of Decott's mother at 750 Pasture Street. There were needle marks in Miller's arm, consistent with injection marks used for injecting illegal narcotics. The deputies also found a powdery substance and several different types of syringes. It was later determined she had died after injecting a lethal dose of cocaine. During the initial investigation, Decott was acting suspicious and refusing to answer questions from paramedics who had been summoned to his mother's home. Decott was transported to UF Health Leesburg Hospital. Decott later told the investigator that he and Miller had been in an intimate relationship for more than a year. He said they had discussed injecting cocaine to further enhance their sexual activities. He said they were engaged in sexual intercourse prior to injecting themselves. Miller took 2 Xanax tablets and injected liquid cocaine into her arm. Decott also injected himself with liquid cocaine. Decott logged onto his computer and searched for pornographic websites. But Miller began to shake badly. She became unresponsive and fell to the floor. Decott attempted to treat her by inserting, catch this, Advil tablets into her mouth. He also inserted, catch this, Advil tablets into her vagina in an attempt to revive her. About 50 minutes passed, and when she failed to regain consciousness, he called 911. Paramedics pronounced her dead at the scene. Decott admitted to an investigator he had traveled to Tampa that morning to purchase the cocaine. The 5th Judicial Medical Examiner's Office officially listed Miller's cause of death as cocaine toxicity. Miller's mother lobbied for her son's release prior to Thursday's bond hearing. "Mom, what the hell's the matter with you? Do you not see the nose in front of your face?" A villager is facing a drunk driving charge after crashing into a light pole in a roundabout. Brandon Scott Salyer, 52, who lives on the historic side of the Villages, was driving a black Chevrolet Spark at about 7 p.m. Tuesday when he crashed into the light pole in a roundabout at Buena Vista Boulevard and Odell Circle near Lake Meona Recreation Center. It's a nice rec center right there, Lake Meona Rec Center. I like it. Salyer's car also collided with another vehicle. Hard to imagine. The Kentucky native was remorseful about the accident and admitting he had been drinking. He said he'd consumed 2 or 3 beers about an hour before the crash. Salyer agreed to participate in field sobriety exercises, but his poor performance led deputies to conclude he had been driving impaired. A provided breath sample that registered .095 and .096 blood alcohol content. He was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. He was released after posting a $2,000 bond. Let me tell you what I see here, and I'm giving this guy all the breaks in the world. .095 and .096 tells me that he's telling the truth about 2 to 4 beers somewhere in that area. So I believe that. And he did take the breath sample. He didn't have to. He did take field sobriety exercises. He didn't have to. So he played the game correctly. He just got caught. Here's the thing. Roundabouts here. I don't know what it is about roundabouts. He's from Kentucky. He's probably from an area of Kentucky maybe that doesn't have hardly any roundabouts at all. And so the roundabouts is something he's not really looking for when he's driving down a road. And if he's on his phone, playing with the radio, being distracted, he's not paying attention. And so he hits a roundabout, boom, he hits the light that's in the middle of the roundabout. So, and then the idea of running into another car. Different lanes in a roundabout is for different things. And how you exit a roundabout is it's controversial, actually. So you got to really be aware if you're in a roundabout. If you're in that outside lane, the right lane that most people hangs around in, that's actually an exit lane. So when you're in that right lane, technically, you're supposed to exit at the very next exit. So if you're going to go around a roundabout to the other side of the roundabout, you're supposed to be on the inside lane. That's the through lane. And then you go over it, then you get to the right lane, and then you exit where you want to exit. I got to tell you, I think with these small roundabouts we got, that's almost impossible to do safely, especially during snowbird season. It's so crowded, you just can't do that. So here's what I tell people. Try to have nobody next to you. If you have to speed up to get in a blank spot, then do it. If you got to slow down and get in a blank spot, then do it. Because no matter who makes a move around you, you're in a blank spot where they pull in front of you, they pull in behind you, but you're okay. So that's my recommendation. A villager has lost his license indefinitely after his fourth conviction of drunk driving. Richard Louis Zyke, 61, who lives with his parents in the Keystone Villas in the village of Hadley, pleaded no contest this past week at Lake County Court to a felony charge of driving under the influence. He will lose his license indefinitely and has been placed on probation for 4 years. Question to the courts. Losing his license indefinitely, what does that do as far as stopping him from driving drunk again? Zyke was pulled over at 2 a.m. March 7, 2024 by the Fruitland Park Police Department. Zyke had been pursued by an officer who believed he had detected an erratic driving pattern. Zyke, who had slurred speech, indicated he was on his way to the Denny's restaurant. The Michigan native admitted he'd consumed 2 shots of tequila. He struggled through field sobriety exercises and eventually quit trying out of frustration. He provided 2 breath samples that registered .134 blood alcohol content. A criminal history check revealed that Zyke already had 3 previous driving under the influence convictions, including one in Georgia and another in Utah. In 2021, he was arrested after an altercation over a Michigan football game. I could tell you a story about sports and my kids at a Colts football game when they still had the Hoosier Dome. Maybe I'll make it on a story on Patreon. Detectives with the Sumter County Sheriff's Office are attempting to identify an individual believed to be connected to a series of stolen vehicle incidents that have occurred in the village's Lady Lake portion of Sumter County. I'll put the picture up, but I got to tell you, it's very, very grainy. It looks like it came out of somebody's doorbell camera. I cleaned it up the best that I could, but it's not great. But if you happen to recognize this person or think you do, please make the phone call. The individual had been observed in proximity to a reported theft location and may have information relevant to the ongoing investigation. Anyone with information regarding the identity of this individual or any information regarding to the incidents is asked to contact Sumter County Sheriff's Office at 352-793-2621. If you live there, I don't recommend leaving your car parked outside in the driveway. Yes, you can. There's nothing illegal about it. Nobody will say anything to you about it. But if you live in that house, if you have access to that garage, put your car, for God's sake, in the garage, because if nothing else, the devastating sun effect down here will destroy your car. So put it inside. If you have guests coming to your house, make sure they take the key out of the car, lock the car up, and bring it inside. It's just common sense. A villager's son has been arrested on multiple charges after allegedly stealing merchandise at stores at Lady Lake Crossing. A K-9 unit checked 2 backpacks that were left abandoned next to some bicycles on the sidewalk outside Dollar Tree at the shopping plaza around 5:10 p.m. Thursday, according to the arrest report from the Lady Lake Police Department. One of these backpacks, which belonged to 45-year-old Richard Brownstreet, was believed to contain narcotics. I don't want to say anything, people. Look at this picture. I keep pointing this stuff out all the time. I'm not being discriminatory. I didn't do this. They do it to themselves. Look at that. See the teardrops on the side of his eye? In Indiana, many years ago, when the police had detectives that were trying to figure out these different gang members in Indianapolis, they found out that the teardrops, at least for that gang member, was for every individual that they killed. Now, if that's true here, and I don't know that it is, he's killed 2 people. As the K9 unit finished, Street and another man came out of a nearby store and indicated the bags belonged to them. A subsequent search of Street's bag yielded his ID and a syringe with 0.31 grams of methamphetamine. The backpack also contained several items from nearby stores that Street was seen going into before talking to law enforcement. He came out of those stores without any signs of bags or receipts. Street subsequently admitted to stealing several things from the nearby stores. He had taken 4 items worth $236.88 from Sportsman's Warehouse, 3 items worth $19 from Five Below, and 8 items worth $73.92 from Ace Hardware. He pointed out what he had stolen and where they had come from. A check of Street's criminal history revealed he had 6 prior convictions for theft, 3 in 2020, 1 in 2021, 1 in 2024, and 1 in 2025. Street was ultimately arrested on charges of possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and 3 counts of petty theft. He was transported to Lake County Jail with bond set at $15,000. He has a long history of theft. He was arrested in 2024 after being caught with a bicycle stolen from Walmart. He told police he tried to steal items at Best Buy because he had no job in 2021. He was arrested twice in 2020 during July at Walmart and during February from stealing his mother's vehicle. He was also arrested in 2021 for another attempted heist at Walmart. God, man, it'd just be easier to get a job. Well, here's another patio villa having a rock problem. I've warned you guys about this. A patio villa owner in the Villages must remove rock from a landscaping bed at her home. The home, located at 17443 Southeast 81st Newberry Court in the Bromley Villas in the village of Chatham, was the subject of a deed compliance hearing Monday before the special hearing magistrate at a district office in Brownwood. The home is owned by Bernadette McGinnis. A complaint was lodged October the 6th about rock in the landscaping bed. Community standards began investigating the situation and found that the homeowner had never filed an application with the Architectural Review Committee. At the hearing, McGinnis was ordered to bring her property into compliance within 45 days. If she fails to do so, she could face $50 a day fine until the home is brought into compliance. A resident of the La Crescenta Villas fought a fierce battle to keep the rock landscaping that was already at the home when he purchased it. He eventually faced $50,000 in fines and legal costs because he stubbornly refused to bring his home into compliance. You don't want to go there, people. Listen, I've said it before, if you're looking at a patio villa, I know those are the ones that they're really keeping an eye on, patio villas. As far as I know, the rules everywhere north of 44, I'm not speaking anywhere down south because those rules can be changed, you're not allowed to have rock or stone to replace your grass around your patio villa. You're not. No patio villa. Any patio villa. I'm just putting it out there because I think that's the rule. Now, you can have rock as far as mulch in the flower bed goes. But if you've got grass around your house, the backyard, the side yard, out to the road, there's stone. Now, there's also an easement out to the road. You can't do anything past that easement except mow grass. They're tearing that grass out. I understand the complaint, and they're putting in stone because as snowbirds, they don't have to worry about mowing grass. They don't have to worry about watering grass. They just think it's cheaper for them to do that. Some of them like to look. I don't mind the look as long as it's put in correctly. Most people don't do it correctly. They just do it cheap and easy. But in these patio villa areas, it's a no-no. You better get ARC's approval. And if you buy a home that's already got the rock, please do yourself a favor. I'm just trying to save you some money here. Make sure there's been ARC approved. Have your realtor check it out for ARC approval. If it's been approved, get a copy of the approval. Tell them you demand approval or you're not buying it. I just wouldn't do it. Make sure it's been approved. If it's not been approved, then before you put your name on that dotted line, you make sure that it's brought back into compliance and get the copy of that approval and then go to closing and buy the house. I'm just trying to save you what could be several $1,000s to remove this and put grass in its place. It's no joke. A home in Foreclosure at the Villages that was frequently visited by police was scheduled to be sold at an auction this week. The home at 1722 Myrtle Beach Drive on the historic site of the Villages was also the subject of a deed compliance hearing on Monday at the district office at Brownwood. The home is owned by the estate of George Canton Jr. A complaint was received by community standards with regard to overgrown bushes. The home was scheduled to go up for auction this week. As of Monday's public hearing, the deed compliance violation has not been corrected. Canton passed away January 15, 2021. After the Massachusetts native retired, he moved to the Villages where he met and married Vivian Grace Finlay Canton. In 2019, the Department of Children and Families stepped in to investigate her claims of abuse and poisoning. However, an investigator found that George Canton would not have the physical strength for the kinds of attacks his wife described. At the time, Vivian Canton said she was saving money and hoping to relocate to Kentucky. She was listed as a survivor in his obituary. Police have been called to the home numerous times dating back to 2007 arrest. Well, I don't know much about it, but it's in foreclosure. It's going to be up for auction, and this is one of the homes here that I've seen, many homes like this, where they usually have a day or two before auctioning or maybe the day of auctioning where you can walk through the house to see what it really needs before you have to actually start to bid on the house. Now, that's not true about every auction. Some of these auctions is you buy as is, where is, they don't allow any inspections. You just take your chances. So, but if I was looking to make a buck or two and had the crew, these are the kind of homes that Sue and I looked for, and we would buy them, and we'd go in and we'd take our chances, is what we did. So there you go. There's another one for you. A homeowner has been ordered to clean up junk at her property in the Villages. The property at 1018 Nell Way on the historic site of the Villages was the subject of a hearing Monday before a special hearing magistrate at the district office at Brownwood. The manufactured home, which dates back to 1974, is owned by the Diane Salutar. On July 10, a complaint was lodged with community standards about overgrown grass and weeds, as well miscellaneous debris in the yard. Community standards has not been able to reach the homeowner, even though letters has been sent by regular mail and certified mail. Staff was finally able to reach Salutar on October 14th to provide detailed instructions about what needed to be done and bring the property into compliance. She did not appear at Monday's hearing, and the home remains out of compliance. She was given 5 days to clean up the property. If she fails to do so, a series of fines will be imposed. I'm telling you, you don't want to play around with this ARC people. You just don't, and all this and that. What they're going to do, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but when they decide to go in there and do whatever they got to do for what they can do legally, one is they can mow the grass. Trim the bushes, I don't know, but I know they can mow the grass. At a minimum charge, and I don't care how big your yard is, minimum charge of $250, I believe, each and every time they have to mow the grass. They can also wash your house if you got tree mold and stuff on it. That's another one. I'm thinking that might be $250 for that. But either or, there's a minimum charge that's outrageous to do this work. So you don't want to do that. Hire somebody. Get on the phone. Hire somebody to do this stuff and save yourself some bucks while you can. You don't even have to be here. You can make 3 phone calls. I guarantee you, I know them, and have your house washed for $69, completely washed, and it'll look great. For another, I don't even know, $50 a month, give or take, you can call a company to come in and mow that grass. That'll take care of that. And I guarantee you, if you look hard enough, you can find somebody here with a pickup truck and a trailer that'll go in there and clean up all this debris and throw it on their trailer and haul it out of there. Because you don't want it, or it wouldn't be sitting outside. So just get it done, man. Quit playing stupid. A villager was arrested after a battle over vodka sent a woman to the hospital. I'm not laughing about going to a hospital. I'm laughing about you're fighting over a bottle of vodka. Are you serious? Maybe both of you have a problem here. I don't know. I will say there's an awful lot of drinking in the villages, an awful lot of drunks in the villages, that maybe somebody ought to really step up to the plate and try to figure some things out. I know each person is responsible for themselves. I'm not saying that. But you go in the villages here, you can't hardly turn a corner without 3 and 4 bars, outside bars, staring you in the face. Michael David Peon, 60, who lives in... I would change my last name from Peon. Michael David Peon, 60, who lives in the Catherine Villas in the village of Caroline. I know exactly where Catherine Villas are. Was arrested on charges of battery and depriving use of 911 after deputies were called to a disturbance at about 7:30 p.m. Friday, according to the arrest report from Sumter County Sheriff's Office. When deputies arrived on the scene, they found a woman who was intoxicated. She claimed that Peon had kicked her in the ribs. She had suffered a laceration to her bottom lip and contusions to her left eye and cheek. She was transported by ambulance to UF Health Spanish Plains Hospital in the Villages. The arrest report did not disclose the nature of the relationship between Peon and the woman. I can. A bad one. When she was interviewed at the hospital, the woman told deputies that Peon was pouring a bottle of vodka down the sink drain, and she grabbed the bottle to try to make him stop. The Rhode Island neighbor responded by twisting the woman's wrist. She claimed he threw her up against the wall, causing her to fall backwards to the ground. When she was on the ground, he kicked her in the rib cage and punched her in the face. She crawled on the floor and attempted to call 911, but Peon took the phone and slammed it on the floor, causing it to break. Inside the residence, deputies found a shattered phone, a broken vodka bottle, a beer can with dents, and a small indentation in the kitchen wall. Peon was taken into custody and booked to Sumter County Detention Center. He was released after posting a $5,500 bond. Well, it sounds like maybe, just from what you're reading here, maybe she's got the drinking problem. He was just trying to stop her, but it got carried away, didn't it? Okay, before I read this next report here, the number you see above me right up here, I've been putting that on the videos for the last 3 or 4 Fridays for the news. That phone number is not necessary for you to call me about a complaint about the news or whatever. I mean, you can if you want. That number up there is if you've got a complaint, if you've got a question, if you've got a concern about the Villages and what's going on around here, from the information you get from me or maybe somebody else, the news or whatever, that's what that number's for. Call that number. You're going to get the voicemail. You're not going to get a hold of me. And also, don't leave your phone number on it because I'm going to edit it out. And don't ask me to call you back. I've already said before, I'm not calling nobody back. And leave your concern, leave your comment, leave your question, leave your thoughts. If you have thoughts about, I think I know how to stop people from invading your swimming pools or whatever the case may be. Leave it on there. It's still going to be a voicemail. And when I get enough voicemails on there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video out of it. It's called Live Calls. That's all. It's just a simple name. Live Calls from you. And you've probably seen a couple of them. I put them on here. And that's what I'm trying to get done. I haven't been putting them on regularly because, truthfully, nobody's been calling and leaving anything that I can actually use on that show. I get these things like, hey, I've got a question about this or that. Here's my number. Call me back. I'm not going to call you back. But anyway, that's what it's for. Please call it. And then I get enough of them. I'll edit the calls. I'll put them on here and we'll make a show out of it. And it's interesting for other people to see what it is that other people are concerned about. Could be the same thing they're concerned about. That's what makes letters to the editors fun. You find out what people that actually live here, what are their complaints? What are they concerned about? So I read them. A villager schizophrenic son has been released after 189 days in jail. Kevin Ryan Catton, 42, appeared this past week in front of a judge in Sumter County Court and pleaded no contest to a charge of battery by strangulation. He was sentenced to time served and placed on probation for 18 months. I got a question. First thing comes to mind, if you're mentally unstable, do you have the right to go to court and declare anything at all? You know, he said he was, what did he say? Declared, he pleaded no contest. Did he plead no contest or does somebody for him did that? Just a question. In April, officers responded to Canton's mother's home in the village of Moultrie Creek. His mother had fled to a neighbor's home, according to the rescue report from the Wildwood Police Department. Canton told police that his mother is a black witch and she'd been torturing him his whole life. This person is dangerous to not only himself, but to others. Officers interviewed Canton's mother at a neighbor's house. She said her son began drinking at 8 a.m. that day and became angry and grabbed her face, using his fingers to scratch the inside of her mouth. He began choking her and knocked off her glasses. She said her son is a veteran and suffers from PTSD as well as schizophrenia. She said his condition gets worse when he drinks. She added that he also smokes medical marijuana. It's your house, Mom. Take the hint. Records indicate that in 2021, he was charged in Oklahoma with burglary and harassment of a public official. And that's all there is to the story. It doesn't go any further for any more information, but I can tell you, this guy is a danger. He's a danger to himself, he's a danger to his mother, and he's a danger to anybody else that he decides that he don't like. Okay, let's see how many holes in ones of golf did we get this week. Looks like 2. Joseph Dawson of the village of Citrus Grove got a hole-in-one on Saturday, October 25, from 153 yards using an 8-iron at hole number 2 at the Mangrove Executive Golf Course. I always liked Mangrove. A lot of people didn't, because it is kind of a tough course, but I don't know, I enjoy it. Dawson is a special education teacher, golf coach at the village's charter middle school in Middleton. Well, congratulations on your hole-in-one, Joseph. Jim White of the village of Cason Hammock was thrilled to get his first hole-in-one on Tuesday, October 21 at hole number 3 at the Mangrove Executive Golf Course. Well, congratulations on your hole-in-one, Jim. Both of you guys. Beer's on you. Well, let's do everybody's favorite letters to the editor, and let's see what all the other village people are complaining about. To the editor. Here's a novel idea. Let's turn the self-appointed bad parking police into the pool police, accomplishing something useful, thus accomplishing 2 items. Getting rid of the self-appointed people who take it way over the top for pictures and giving them something useful for everyone, saving us all money for pool monitors and giving them something meaningful to do. That was sent in by Steve Foster from the village of Gilcrest. My quick response to that is this. He's a liberal. Know how I know? He's wanting to put the blame on somebody else. Not the bad people that's doing the bad parking, but the people that catches them. So he wants to blame them for their bad parking, which makes no sense at all. And he also talked about saving money at the pool instead of having pool monitors. Nobody's ever said anything about having pool monitors, except that one where Rohan is going to do an experiment and have a couple of pools probably monitored here and there. And it's not going to be long-term, it's just going to be a short-term thing, to see if we are being invaded by outsiders. How many people are showing up without their guest passes, that kind of thing. So his statistics here is all stretched out of shape. He takes a word here and a word there, puts it together, makes it mean something that it's really not. That tells me he's a liberal. Take it for what it's worth. To the editor. When I moved here 10 years ago, there wasn't the populace surrounding the villages. The people that think the outsiders support the restaurants and bars are nuts. I've always said that. They help, sure. And it's a nice place for them to go, sure. But I think the businesses, for me being here as long as I have, they seem to be doing just fine. And they even do fine when the so-called snowbirds ain't even here. I wonder why. Every restaurant and bars were full every day and night. They were not hurting for business. We who've been here 10 plus years now have to go to dinner at 3 o'clock just to be able to eat dinner. And we're the ones that have to sit in the streets to hear the groups at the squares. If I would have known this was going to be the way the villages has turned out to be, I would never have moved here. And don't even get me started about snowbirds and the class in all of the recreational centers. If anyone asks me how I like it in the villages, I discourage them by telling them the truth. No, you're not discouraging anybody by telling them the truth. I kind of disagree with that line. I get your point. But you're not discouraging anybody by telling them the truth. I tell the truth here. I read the truth of what's really happening here. I don't give a lot of the happy news around here because you get that anywhere. And the truth is that's clickbait. But you know what? I have seen on other people's YouTube channels, clickbait really works. So who do you blame? The person bringing you the message or the person that keeps clicking on that message? That's sent in by Karen Orlando from the village of Summerhill. To the editor, we are new here and still trying to wrap our heads around this place called the Villages. Like so many, we are attracted to the villages because of the beauty, the cleanliness, and the limitless number of activities. But lately I've been questioning our decision to leave our former lives up north. Let me add a little bit of, I'm reading between the lines here, a little bit of something that I've talked about many times, but nobody listens anyway. She's been here a year or more, maybe a couple of years. The newness now has settled in. Now she's noticing things that she never noticed before because she was new. Buying the house, landscaping, buying furniture, getting to know your neighbors, going to driveway parties, going down to the square. Everything's new. And then after a couple of years, you start settling into it where you just start picking and choosing the things you really want to do. Now you got time. Now you start noticing things. That comes to everybody here sooner or later. There seems to be a lot more crime than we bargained for. People say the crime is outside of the villages and it's exaggerated. I'd like to know who says that. But the arrests I am seeing: road rage, drunk driving in golf carts, cars, violent domestic battles, theft, angry bicyclists, and public intox. Well, even in this report, you've heard every one of those except the angry bicyclist. I believe that was last week. It causes me concern. Many of the crimes involve weapons and fast-moving vehicles. Innocent bystanders could easily get swept up in these incidents. Many perpetrators seem angry or to have been drinking or drug problems. Many appear to involve adult children living with their parents. What's up with that? The other day I read about a man convicted of attempted murder panhandling at the Publix in the Villages. What's the deal with the crime in the Villages? That's sent in by Julie Herman from a new area, like I said, the village of Water's Edge. Julie, keep asking those questions. I do the best I can do here. I'm going to tell you, get ready for some people that's going to tell you that it's wrong. And get ready for the biggest smartass answer there is, saying, well, if you don't like it, you can move. It doesn't cure anything, does it? But that's what you're going to hear. So just get ready for the backlash. I get it all the time. But I'm still here. I've been doing YouTube here in the Villages longer than anybody. And I helped a lot of the people that you watch today get their channels started. I'm not saying there's nothing fun here. There is. But there's also some things you got to know. Don't leave your keys in the car. And don't leave the car unlocked in your driveway. It could get stolen. But thanks for the letters to the editor, Julie. Appreciate it. Gives other people things to think about. Thank you so much. Okay, I think that's going to be the news for this week. I do appreciate each and every one of you for coming. Thank you so much. And I dedicate my news, I always have, I always will, to my Patreon members and my YouTube members. By the way, don't forget to call that number. If you think there's something in the news that maybe I could do better, something I might have to put in the news that I don't put in there now, there might be reasons for it. Call that number. Leave a concern on that voicemail, and I'll address it. With that, I hope anybody out there that watches this, I hope you learn a little something about the Villages. It's not all blue skies. It's not all about golf every day. It can be, but you still have to be aware of things. You still have to know there are things that goes on here. And in the wintertime, it's worse than it is in the summer. So just understand these things and be aware. Don't walk around thinking, well, it's a retirement community. Nobody's going to bother me there. Yes, they will. Somebody told me, so, well, the police never arrest old people down there because Florida's full of old people and they can't put them all in jail. Yes, they will. So I don't know where you're getting this information from, but it's the wrong information and it's the wrong attitude to come down here with. You see the new lady that just bought a place there. She's already been arrested this year 3 times. You can't continue with that. Eventually, they're going to come down hard. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get something out of it. I hope you appreciate it. If I could say, and if I could, I'd bring this up every week. I know you get tired of hearing it. I know you do. It's the only thing I got. Become a Patreon member. I mean, I'll send you a Discord link. Also, I explained also why we do Discord links on there is because then you can put stuff on there that you cannot do as a member of Patreon, just like my YouTube channel. I post on my YouTube channel. You cannot. Well, Patreon's the same way. I post things on Patreon that people watch and make comments about, but they can't post anything on there. That's why I connected my Discord to my members, Patreon members only. Now, if somebody here that lives here and they're interested in posting something on there, for example, Linda had almost a brand new golf cart from Yamaha and she decided she wanted to go get a brand new electric golf cart, which a lot of them are doing that now. She put it on Discord. She put the video on Discord and she put everything on Discord. And somebody on Discord, one of my Patreon members that's also on Discord, because it was a heck of a price. I'm telling you, I couldn't believe it. As soon as he saw it, he bought it right away because he knew that was a deal. And he's got that golf cart to this day. I hear from this person once in a while, they love the golf cart. That's why I got Discord. You can get on there and talk to other people. There's only members only on my Discord. Most of them live here. Not all, but most do. You can ask the simple questions on there. Hey, who'd you get to mow your grass? What plumber can you guys recommend? And you might get 4 or 5 different plumbers on there from people, but it gives you a start. It gives you a number of people that we have used as members. Not just me, but members on there. We've used them. And so we know who they are and what they are. So there you go. Get down on that Discord for as little as $2 a month on Patreon. I think my news alone is worth $2 a month. Just that, but you're getting a lot more. The Discord, I think alone, is worth the $2 a month. And if you want to be a sponsor of my channel, contact me. You got my email. It's in the description box below. Everybody's got it by now. Contact me. I got a very easy, a very inexpensive way of continuing support of this channel. With that being said, I want to get out of here and say I hope you have a glorious day. Weather's changing. It's getting cooler. On our porch sitting this last week, it was like 68 degrees. Personally, I kind of like it. So I know up north, you know what's coming eventually. It'll be here soon enough, right? So be well, take care, be aware, stay well, take care of your health. I've said it before, because at the end, and we're all getting there, that's really all you have left is your health. Without that, you really have nothing.
And I'll leave your key in that golf cart.
This week's news is brought to you by my YouTube and Patreon members.